Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Pointless Discourse, where myself, Hoppocalypse and DPayne get together and let you guys vote on topics for us to discuss our most liked and least liked out of the categories, or as DPayne has coined, God tier and Devil tier. On this episode, we'll be talking about zombie weapons. But before we get into the episode, I'll throw it to DPayne to make the announcements that we always have.
Yeah. So at the end of the month, you guys have to the end of the month of July to send in any question, quizzes, or just pretty much those things of topics you would like us to talk about. Because on August 1st, we're going to do a special community cast where we're going to be answering your questions. It could be something like, can you clarify this that you said on podcast 113? And I've been like, what podcast have you been listening to? We're in podcast 11. We haven't got to 113 yet. No. Or why did Pop say in the beginning of the superhero podcast that she just wanted to have fun and she didn't? Or, hey, I would really like you guys to have this quiz. Do it. That's what this podcast is going to be all about. Have fun. It's also really weird to say this because still Image Hop looks like she's judging me while I'm saying this. So, yeah. But in short, we're just asking like if there's any questions that you guys would like us to do or answer, or any quizzes you'd like us to partake in. That was one of the unlocks for the charity stream. And yeah, we're probably going to keep, well, not probably, we are going to keep saying it on the podcast and probably in our own streams as well. So yeah, that is the announcement.
Yeah, and for anyone listening to just the audio portion, to clarify DPayne and me judging him, while we do this live, we stream this as we record this, and I have a really bad sty on my eye this week to where I don't want to have to like be on webcam and stress it out and all that stuff. So in our Zoom meeting, I am just a still image rather than my usual video half.
Yeah. And so depending on what side you're looking at, if you're looking at my version, it looks like she's just sitting there just like, did you really just say that? Or if you're watching on her side, she's like, I can't even pay attention to this fool.
And all it is my default profile picture for a lot of my social media. But yeah, so for anyone unfamiliar with the format of this, we go in and start rolling dice to determine who gets to talk first and which half of the content is talked about first. We're both big tabletop nerds, so we roll d20s as if we're rolling for initiative. I rolled an 8 this week.
I rolled a 13.
You get to go first.
Oh, we talk about our bad ones first.
Good ones, even.
No. Oh, yeah. I got it mixed up. I'm so used to losing that I'm like, yeah, we get to go. Okay. So before we jump into this, I always feel like whenever I go to talk about this, I'm like, before we talk about this, I need to let you know how I was thinking about these silly answers I wrote down. The way I went at this was kind of, what would I use, or like what could I get my hands on?
Oh, and I think another good thing to point out is, so yes, we're talking about weapons that we use in the zombie apocalypse, but there are so many versions of zombies that DPayne did message me and go, hey, what kind of zombies are we talking about? I think we both agreed we'll just talk about the dumb but strong category, because I don't want to have to think of fighting, was it 28 Days Later, where they're super fast, super strong, super smart. No.
Are they smart? I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. They seem like the fast, crazy zombies.
But I think they were smart enough that they, instead of just listening to sound, they also listened, like, they would smell and things like that. So they would.
I might have missed that. But then there's like the World War Z zombies that will just keep piling on top of each other. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know what's worse. What is the worst zombie?
There's so many versions. So
and
yes,
like that's not even looking at like anime zombies, like because there's tons of those as well. Anywho, so yeah, classic lumbering slow zombie. I guess kind of like The Walking Dead. I guess I don't know. I never watched The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead is an okay one because I think they are like strong but you can distract them easily with noise if I remember correctly. I only watched the first season. I was thinking like Night of the Living Dead, where they kind of wander around aimlessly until they have a reason to chase you.
Yeah. Like, hey, let's play tag. But like all you hear is
tag with teeth.
Yeah. Well, some don't have hands.
This is true.
So yeah, with that context, and then also like, I was just honestly thinking, well, one of my answers is very unpractical, so it's just like it's like why, but it like I was just kind of think of specifically for the good, the good or God tier. I was like, what would I use? Like, what would I use? And honestly, the more and more I look at my good answers, they kind of work in tandem together. So that will make a little bit sense as I go into it. So my runner up is I wrote a shield. So like, I don't know, whenever I think of the zombie shows and all that stuff, like normally people like eventually get to a police station and then like use the riot shields and all that stuff. The other side of it, was like, I'm also thinking of just real world stuff that I have where I work at a metal shop, and I'm pretty sure I could get down there to, I don't know, craft some form of shield or get something in there. As I realize I don't have a key to the office, or not the office, but the building. But I know people who do. So, well, no, this is all falling apart. But anyway, it's, I think I would want to use some item like as a shield, especially if it was in a group. Because if anything, like, I don't know, I know I'm large and I have, like, even if it's able to slow zombies down to have the teammates be able to pick them off or whatever, it's kind of what I was just thinking of using like a shield as like, I guess it's my second tier thing. I guess more of a support item.
Yeah, I mean, like, a shield is a very strong thing to have because given the zombies that we're thinking of, they're just going to try and bite at you. So as long as you have just something blocking, usually, at least in movies, they just keep biting at it without even thinking like, oh, there's something in the way. But I mean, and you can generalize it. I know you said you have like the metal shop. I mean, if you have thick enough, if you want to put a handle on a door,
yeah, that's true.
There are handles already on doors, but I mean, an easy to hold for a shield handle.
Like, as soon as you said like a handle on the door, I immediately thought of like Looney Tunes, where I'm just holding the thing and like the zombies just like use the door handle on the other side and open it up. I'm like, no. Or a pot lid.
You would need a pretty big one. I don't know if there's pots that are big enough to protect your whole body.
You just needed to cover their head. Like, no.
So more like an astronaut kind of helmet, but it's a pot lid.
Well, no, it's just the lid, where it's just like you keep their head away. Like, you know how like when a toddler or like is coming at you, you just kind of put your hand on their head and they're just like just trying to like swing but can't because your arms are so much longer. And it's like that, but it's just their head, and there's a pot lid just keeping them away.
That would work in a 1v1.
Yep.
But
only.
Only. A door could maybe help in a 2v1, but if you're surrounded, it's still rough. Just always have your back to, always walk along walls with a shield in front of you, and you're fine.
Yep. So, but yeah, that's kind of like, guys, I'll be honest, there's not a lot of things I can say about these weapons right now, because I'm just like, it's just like, yeah, like I honestly think a shield would be like, one, it'd be a support item for like if I was in a group by like for other people, or if I'm by myself, at least it would be a little bit of a barrier, a portable barrier. Until knowing me, I end up breaking it on something stupid. Like, hey, look at me, I can sled down these steps. Oh, dang it. So, but yeah. Will this be the shortest podcast? Probably not.
Knowing us, no. But no, I think a shield's a decent option because I didn't consider defensive. I considered only like offensive items. But you do need sometimes. What is it? Is it in sports they say a good offense is a good defense? That sounds like a phrase I've heard before.
Yeah, the best offense is a good defense, which is really funny because in League I said literally last night where it was just like, best offense is a better offense. Let's go. And then I died. So.
Okay, so that was your runner-up, right? All right, for my runner-up, I was thinking a wooden bat.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's, like you said, like, with practicality and everything, you would want something that's pretty readily available. And with a wooden bat, if, you know, at the last second, you're like, you know what, I need to stock up on stuff. I feel like a wooden bat would be pretty easy to get. No one would question you. Like, you know, like how sometimes you, in shows and movies, they're all like, I think there might be a zombie apocalypse. Oh, no, you're crazy. But if you go to, like, Doom prep for it, if you get certain things, people will be like, are you okay? You could get a bat and no one would go, like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and then along with that, I guess also thinking about myself, I feel like I could easily use a bat and swing it and hit a target without worrying if I can aim in any specific way. Like in some movies, I see people using like lances and stuff. And I'm like, that's effective in one direction. If I mess up hitting on the first time, then I'm like awkward and fumbling around with this really large object.
Yeah.
And then with a bat, given the type of zombies I was thinking about, at least, even if I don't hit him in the head, if I hit him in like the leg or the arm, it'll fall off, right? They're decaying.
Potentially. It honestly just depends on how fresh, I guess, that zombie is.
Yeah, if it's a yesterday zombie, then no, it would be pretty intact. But if it was like a 20-year-old in the ground and then come up out of the ground zombie, yeah, it should be fine.
Very much you hit him with the bat and then it's got like that meme where like it's just like Nani and the eyes just like you're like, I'm sorry.
And then like you said, like having the shield to put some distance between yourself and a zombie. I know like they also dramatize those scenes where your neck's about to get bit or something and then you put something in between you and the zombie and it's biting that instead of you. I think a bat could be that as well. It's not as protective as a shield, but at least you have a weapon that's also like you can stick in their mouth if you're in a 1v1.
Now, here's the one thing that the shield would be better than that defensive side, and I'm just gonna say two words: zombie spit or drool.
Oh, are we in a universe where drool is enough to turn you into a zombie?
No, I wasn't thinking that. Just more like, ew, it's on there.
Oh. Okay. I was like, oh no, I have to worry about like zombie spit getting into my eyes.
No, like that's the okay. Side note, look, yeah, this is how we're gonna go over right here. So, I almost said 23 Jump Street. That's not what I'm talking about. 28 Days Later, like that guy. There's a zombie just hanging up into like a. It was a zombie that got impaled like on something, and this guy looks up into it, like a little droplet of like, it's not even blood, it's like zombie spit gets into his eye, and like it just drips down, gets in his eye, and then like 3 seconds later he's turned. I'm like, no one would survive.
Yeah,
like, if that's all it takes.
If it's that contagious, yeah. So yeah, that but no, that's a good point. Whether it's about getting turned or just out of personal hygiene and not needing to clean yourself.
Gross.
Yeah. right after every zombie fight. That's true. But yeah, so yeah. Oh, and I forgot to preface for my stuff, I thought of it from a very practical standpoint. Either I considered like, does it have multi-use? Is it something I could get a hold of? Is it something that anybody could use without needing to like be top tier at some skills? Because like One website I was reading, they suggested a skateboard because it was multi-use, and I was like, that doesn't seem practical though. They were like, you can put it on your back and it's travel that's easier to carry than a bike, but if you hit a zombie with it, then it breaks. I was like, that doesn't help.
Yeah. It's like, okay, thanks. Yeah, I also looked at different like articles and stuff. None of them were helpful. Like one of the ones, actually, my worst one was like, this weapon's a really good weapon. I'm like, no, it's not. And I'll get into that more in the second third of show. But yeah, I think the main problem is that we just need one real zombie, so that way everyone knows, oh, okay, this is the gear that I need.
Yeah, because between all the different versions of zombies, it's you either have something that just lays there and stares at you, or you have something so extreme that it will chase you for miles and not get tired. Like, there's no good indication.
Like, the worst zombie's the necromorphs from Dead Space. Because there's literally one of those little zombie creatures that looks like a stingray, can fly through walls, and it's like, oh, is this person dead? Not anymore. Like, no. Oh, Dead Space is such a good game. I want to play it now. Yeah. The other thing going off your bat, like the bat was something I was also thinking as well, where it's like customizable, like in a sense, where you could strengthen that sucker, like especially a wooden bat. A metal bat would be a little bit more difficult, but like when I was thinking about it, it's like you could like just, if you find some nails there, you can like make a nail bat. It would be a little bit more difficult to carry, like safely, but
yeah, I know. The Walking Dead definitely has a guy with a nail bat. I didn't watch that season. The only reason why I didn't mention the nail bat is because I feel like I wouldn't be able to pull it out of something if it gets stuck. Like,
the guy with the leather jacket. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the guy with the leather jacket. Yeah.
He's my favorite character. Haven't even watched the show, but he's my favorite.
Perfect. No, yeah, like, it's just that whole, if you hit something with a bat, it doesn't get stuck. So I don't have to worry about that part. But if I were to, I feel like if I were to hit a zombie with a nail bat, and if any nails get really stuck in the zombie, I'd have to like sit there and be like, all right, how do I get this out of his face in time for the next zombie?
Yeah. Like, I did have one of, like, on the bat, I took it off, so I don't have a problem saying this, and I'm sorry if this is one of yours, but it was like a claw hammer. And it's just, I remember in The Walking Dead, the Telltale series, for people that don't know that, you, like, in the later seasons, you play as a little girl named Clementine, and they give her a hammer, and that same exact situation happens, and she's just like, like, come out, and like zombies are like coming around, just like, what's up, and like useless adults are around. That the Walking Dead Telltale series is just like, it's not so much like humans that are the threat, it's just how useless adults are in that.
I played through the first one, and I meant to play the other ones, but I really liked the first one. I've heard the other like installments of it were like okay.
Yeah. Well, and then also, as those games go on, you got to realize how like Telltale was just falling apart. So
yeah.
But I don't know. It's been interesting because I've been wanting to play through them all, but I know another streamer, Rainbow Lightbright, she's been playing them, and like I've been catching like a few of her streams, watching her play, and it's just it's really funny. Just because I think she watched the show or read the comic. I'm not sure. I think I just saw on Twitter she said like she just finished the comic, and so there's characters that she's recognizing that like I have no clue who they are. Like I think I read like the first 6 comics, and I was like, I'm bored. And so, yeah, it's just been interesting seeing that. But yeah, first one's good. I know it gets a lot of people in the feels.
I cried.
You're not the only one. Yeah. So, anything else about the bat?
No, nothing else I can think to add to it.
Okay. Yeah. So my God tier one, which the more and more I look at this works really well with the shield, and it's I guess it's kind of like the bat, but like I just wrote down like either a metal or wooden rod.
Okay.
Where so I have like a dowel stick. Like if anyone doesn't know what a dowel stick is, it's like I used to do cabinet making, and they come in a whole bunch of different sizes from like half an inch to like over an inch, and it's just a cylinder that you use to like put like pieces of wood together and like kind of seal them up, and that way it's instead of using a nail, it's another kind of fastener that can hold wood together. I have like I don't know, probably like a 3 to 4 foot, like 3/4 inch dowel stick that I was supposed to put in something and then just got lazy and never did. So now it's just the big stick I carry around if it's like I heard a weird noise, so I'm gonna hit something with the stick. So, but it's one of those things like because part of me is like I want to write down sword, but I don't have a sword, and I don't know where I would get a sword. And in all honesty, I probably would end up doing something not sword-like with the sword that would end up breaking it. Very much like that infomercial, like that channel that where people sell things, and the guy's like, "Look at this katana, it's so good," and he's like bouncing it on the side, and then the blade breaks and then flips and stabs himself in the arm on live TV, and the camera just changes, and they're like, he's like, "Oh, it got me, yep." That's a good one. Oh, that's blood. And it's just, it's just a great video. But like, it doesn't show anything, but it's just like this guy was an idiot, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, Jim, are you okay?" He's like, "Yep, it got me." Ooh, yeah, and it's like that channel doesn't have commercials because it's all a big commercial. So,
they can't cut to commercial.
Yeah. Oh man, watching like bloopers of those like channels that just sell things is great. Just how like there's the guy that's selling the ladder, and he's like, "It's super sturdy and everything," and the guy is in the background showing how like secure and sturdy it is, and it just collapses because he didn't set it up right, and it's just like the camera's just watching him, and then he just falls, and it's just like camera's like it just cuts to another shot, and they're just like, and they're like, "Is he okay?" And the guy, I don't think the talking guy knew, because he just keeps going on with this pitch, and there's just like you hear shuffling in the background, like, "You okay? You okay?" Hey, buddy.
That's funny.
So, but yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Like once again, thinking of the metal shop where like I'd be able to get to, and hopefully someone is there to let me in, or I'll find a way in eventually. Where I would have access to, I guess, like metal rods and all that stuff. And like it's kind of the same mindset of the, I guess, of the baseball bat, where like I might not be able to like incapacitate or like just take out a zombie, but I might be able to do enough damage to slow it down where we can back up. And like if I had a shield, it's like, okay, it's like it's a combination of like more defensive, because like the more I thought about it, it was just like if I was gonna be like play a role in a zombie apocalypse, like what would I do? And it's like, I guess this really goes back to that dumb superpower quiz we took, and I was like, I don't like this answer, but whatever. It's like I think I would be more of like a protector, and rather be like, okay, like I would go forward, and it's like that's why I have the shield, and then it's just like, even it's just weapons to slow things down, to have like the ADCs come around and just cap them.
You are the support.
The support or the tank, just like, don't die.
Don't get me killed.
Yes. Help. Mercy, where are you?
No, that makes sense. So it definitely is easy to use. But I guess how long can the dowels vary in length? Because I know I'm familiar enough with dowels, like putting together furniture myself, where they have the diameters. But like, how long of a dowel would you want?
I could just get the one that's in my room. Hold
Can you show how long it is via webcam though?
on.
Because if it's longer than the webcam, we still won't have scale.
Yeah, I think it is bigger now I'm thinking about it. At least where I'm sitting. Because the one I have, I think it's about 3.5 to 4 foot.
Oh,
long.
that's yeah. So that's a pokey stick.
Yeah, and then it's also like metal or wooden rod. Because like I honestly was thinking of spear. Like as you were saying it, and it's like if it was a shield and spear, that would still work as well, and it's one of the things you could edit. Weird question to ask. Because like now as I'm sitting here thinking about it, I realize, hold on, my door's open, so I'll say this a little bit quieter into the mic so that way people can hear it. I have multiple machetes in my car, so I just remembered that that I collected over the years. So I would have spear ends. So it's yeah, it's wow, that sounds a lot more weirder than I expected. Yeah, I have a lot of like stabby things in my car.
It's okay. When you said like where would I even get a sword, I don't have a working sword in the house, but at a Renaissance fair, Strider did get a replica sword of one of the ones from Lord of the Rings. I can pretend I know which one. Aragorn's sword.
They all look the same to me.
I know it has a specific name, but yeah, we have a replica one. But it's heavy, but it's not sharp. So I guess in theory, in a zombie apocalypse, if we looked up how to sharpen a sword, we would have a sword readily available, which most people wouldn't. And then we also have we got a plastic training sword. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but it's basically a big hunk of plastic shaped like a sword for you to be able to practice sword techniques without hurting people. So I think that's now that I think about it, that's big enough and heavy enough. I couldn't slash through anything with that, but it probably would have the same stopping power as a wooden bat because of its like weight distribution.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things where like I don't know, I definitely looked around my apartment where it's just like, okay, well, what could I grab? Because like then like there's the other side of the zombie apocalypse that no one really likes to think about when they're making their plans, which is other humans. And it's like, well, are you also going to murder the humans, or are you going to incapacitate them so other people can do your murders? Or like it's I don't know, it's just like one of those things where it's I don't know, it's like another side of I guess the question where it's just like, look, you do realize these weapons are going to be multi-use, like against like alive and deads,
Depending on whatever situation you find yourself in. And I think Walking Dead tries to portray that where it I know in later seasons people pointed out it feels like it's not really about the zombies anymore. But there is a point in the apocalypse where if you can get a space around you, I would imagine so, that's at least zombie dealt with, then you'll probably have like other groups be like, you have resources, give.
yeah. I guess it just depends on how destroyed is an area.
That's another
like,
good point, yeah.
Because I was listening to a D&D podcast like where they were kind of giving ideas for like dungeon masters, and one of the things they said was like, look, zombies on their own aren't scary, but when they start becoming a swarm, that's a Pathfinder term, when they become a horde and start like there's multiple ones, that's when it gets scary. And so it's like it reminds me of this one game that I played. It was a Flash game, and then they made it into like a full like Steam sale game called Rebuild. And all of them, it's a city grid, and you start off with 4 squares, and you're like, okay, you have 6 survivors, you're the leader, or like you're like the person that kind of puts people in what roles. So it's just like the one that's on Steam, it's like, okay, do you want to put people in leadership who have leadership skills? You do that, and they kind of they can go out and find survivors to bring people back. You have people who are scavengers, they can go out and find food and bring people. Like, you have people that are defenders, and you got to put them at, like, you had to build like watchtower areas so that way they can defend different things, or go to clear out city blocks of the thing. And in that game, like, as you start getting big enough and people start recognizing what your town like is, you start getting raiders, and like you start getting hordes of zombies that come up, and it's like you have 7 days to prepare. Like, just like, if you don't prepare well enough, you are losing your city. And then, like, while that's all going on, like, you have different events where like raiders are also coming in and just like attacking your city, and like you need to make sure like all these different things are well kept. And so like that is a very different style zombie game, I guess, where it kind of brings in, it's like, no, there's multiple different fronts, and it's not just people attacking you, it's like the morale of your people as well. So I guess it's another question of what another thing to keep in mind, which I know I didn't, and so that's not like I would expect you as well to do it right now. But it's just like I feel like the weapon preparation that we have would also determine kind of like where we are. Like, what are we in, a big group? Are we in a small group? Are we in like a city like kind of that has reclaimed? I don't know. The more and more I look at this question, the more and more I realize weapon loadouts would look different depending on the situation.
Yeah, it depends a lot. Like you said, like if you were in a group, you could take that defensive stance with your shield and dowel, or rod, and you could easily have other people come through and be like, all right, you're holding them back, I'll clean them up, and then we'll move through and clean up this other problem with zombies. Whereas if you were alone, it is really difficult to be able to handle a shield and zombies in front of you by yourself. So there is that to consider. And also, what was it? The one, I don't know if I was live when I talked about this, but there was that forum where they had this guy going into very in-depth detail, where like his number one weapon was living in a certain state, because he said, there's no hills, there's fresh water, the elements aren't so bad. So you also have to consider, like, are you going to be somewhere up north and it's snowing a lot? You probably don't want melee weapons because your hands will freeze eventually by them like not being somewhere huddled up close to you or anything like that. So it's, we opened a can of worms. We can't close it.
Now my brain's now like, this sounds like a totally different podcast now.
It really does. But
quick, retreat.
Before we get to the nuances,
what's your top tier weapon?
Funnily enough, you mentioned that you have a bunch of machetes in your car. Machete was my number one, because I considered machetes, fairly sharp, pretty straightforward to use, and I think I mentioned earlier that I considered like how practical it is, in that other than just being a weapon, does it have other uses? And I believe it's machetes that you can use to kind of cut through like brush and things to help you make a clear path. So I guess that's assuming you're in a place with tough terrain. With a machete, you can clear out your terrain and actually make it so if you need to run, you can run and not trip on a bunch of stuff. Because, horror movies, if you're running through the woods, everybody trips on a tall root.
Yeah. I immediately thought of an urban setting where it's just like, okay, if you gotta like cut through some things, and I just imagine like Hop's like, I got a machete, and it just starts chopping through a wall, just like, we're making a path.
And then the machete breaks, and we're like, never mind.
It's like, and then she turns out, I don't know what happened, and everyone's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but on the other hand, if you are in an urban environment, maybe you want fence clippers, but then fence clippers can't really be used against the zombie unless you just swing it at them.
No, you just clipped all the teeth off. Stand still. Oh, now that reminds me of that what's that other game? Shoot, it's the one that you go in the house with the video camera and it's like the insane asylum. Outlast.
I did not finish that game. It bored me.
Yeah, I beat it in like 2 sittings, but there's like a part where this guy with giant scissors cut off your fingers, and you're like, oh, that wasn't nice.
That was your reaction? Well, that was unpleasant.
Like there was, like, my friend was like, why are you so like nervous to play this game? And it's like as soon as I played it, and then I got like an hour in, like it all went away, and I was like, look, I'll be honest, what scared me more was just seeing all these reactions people had, and then it's like, oh, okay. And then once I got through that, it's just like, toodles.
Yeah, but no, yeah, so that's why I was so yeah. So depending if you are in a place where you might need to cut through wood, or even if you want to be able to have, you know, wood for fires or building elaborate shields, a machete could be useful. And I was debating between a machete and axe, but I feel like an axe as a weapon is a lot harder to use as a weapon because it's very heavy. So, you know how we talked about like the claw hammer and the nail bat, it would get stuck in a zombie and it'd be really hard to pull out after it gets stuck in a zombie. At least the machete is like fairly, it's lighter and it's more for slashing, so you could easily like maneuver around, especially if you're fighting more than one zombie.
Yeah, that's why I didn't put the sledgehammer on either.
Oh, that's like one hit and you're like, okay.
Yeah, or it's like big miss and you're like, bye. I'll see you as a zombie.
I'm joining you guys. Yeah.
So yeah. No, it's no, like, yeah, definitely machete would be good. Like even if it's like, because I'm like now I'm like picturing like now hearing your top two weapons, like it does sound like a good, like, okay, you have your bat, and then say if your bat is failing you, you do have the machete, because they're not like they're long depending on what size they are, but they're generally smaller than a bat and could be like also like used as a secondary.
Yeah, like you could have I've seen pictures or movies where they have like the machete sitting at their hip and stuff. Like it seems pretty straightforward to carry. Whereas I did say that we technically have a sword if we learned how to sharpen it. But like the swords, if not close to my height, is just really big for me to be able to haul around, because, you know, you put it on your back and maybe it's like 3 feet long with handle and then blade. I'm 5'2". Machete's handheld. Sword,
That's when you're like, DPayne, you 6 foot Neanderthal, here you go.
I also try to imagine myself holding a sledgehammer, and I don't think I could even pick it up to let it do the downward swing.
Yeah, like that's the thing with like an axe and a sledgehammer. There's like a certain, like, I guess technique is the best word to say, of like how to actually use them properly. And it's like, it's not more like a hammer where like you can just do it with one hand, nail it. It's like you have the one hand for support and it like, but not gripping, and it kind of just slides. It's more like, I don't know, it's hard to explain. But yeah, there are ways I feel like it could work, but it's still like you either have to have people to help support you when you do the big whiff, when you roll the natural one, or like just even if you do hit. So because like one of the answers, like, man, it would be really cool to have like a claymore or just like be guts, but I'm not guts. So.
Yeah, I do not have the technique or training to be able to use like all the cool anime weapons efficiently.
Yeah, there's a reason why they're an anime. They're too cool for me.
Yeah, I mean, I did complain about the size of the sword that, or replica sword that we have, but imagine if I had anything that was a replica of like Cloud Sword. I would just not move. It would just be on my back, and I'd be like, all right, I'm here on the ground with this sword on my back. I'm not getting up.
It is your shield, and like you can just hide behind it. Like just put it on top, like, ha.
I'll just have to learn how to like move like a turtle with this shield on my back.
No desire for a claymore. 3 swords plus knives and a throwing stars. Here's the problem with a throwing star. You throw it. Whoa. I need that back.
Yeah.
You like attach it like mittens where you just gotta like pull the string back.
And for anyone that seems confused, DPayne was reading the chat that we have.
Yep.
Yeah, no, throwing stars, I didn't even consider them as a weapon because I don't even understand them practically as a weapon, let alone in a zombie apocalypse. I understand if, it's kind of like an assassination job and maybe they're poison tipped, but I can't imagine.
Are you gonna poison a zombie?
Well, no, but that's the only time I can imagine it used even against people. Like a throwing star against people normally, that's the only way I can see, like, oh, okay, that's why you would want to throw something and not have it again.
Unless, going back to Final Fantasy VII, you have the Yuffie shuriken, where it's just like half her body.
Yeah, speaking of more impractical weapons, that reminds me of Soul Calibur. You've got the hula hoop blade girl.
That is super practical. What are you talking about now?
I am not graceful.
I don't even know how to use a real hula hoop.
I at least know how to use a real hula hoop, but I can't say I'm graceful enough to not hurt myself if there was anything pointy attached.
I think there's a weapon in Ape Escape that's a hula hoop, and you just run around like hula hooping, hitting monkeys. Oh man, a butterfly net, just like, ha! Just like, I caught you now. Now time for you to go to the Blathers or whatever.
And then Blathers, he already doesn't like insects. Imagine bringing a whole zombie to him.
Oh, I could see Blathers being like a mad scientist.
I don't want to imagine my good boy Blathers cutting up zombies for scientific research.
Yeah, side note, like, since we're already here, have you heard like there's a lot of people just resetting their, I almost said Assassin's Creed Island. Their Animal Crossing islands. Like, I've been seeing it all over Twitter.
I haven't been paying attention to it, if it's a thing now.
I don't know if it's a thing. It's just, for some reason, I guess it's a thing on my Twitter. I don't understand my Twitter half the time.
I mean, I think I've seen 1 or 2 people that said if they hit certain, like, sub goals, then they would do it, and I get it. To each their own.
Yeah. I like it, if I hit a sub goal of anything, I guess I'll turn the game back on.
Yeah, but I don't think I have anything else to add to machetes as the best. It just seemed like, the wooden bat is readily available, but I feel like against zombies, you would want something that can slash them, because while a bat, you can hit them in the head and assuming that destroying the brains destroys the zombie, the bat could bash their brains in, but if you just wanted a clean cut, you would need something sharp like a machete to like cut their heads off and just leave it there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Something I was also thinking about, this is more like a podcast as whole. Before we get into the quizzes, it might be good just to say like what our top 2 and worst 2 were. So in case people
to summarize,
forget, to summarize, and then we go into the quizzes.
Okay. Especially
for people who are watching it live and they come in, like if they just came in, they're like, "Well, what was number 1?" So, yeah. So I guess we'll go to the devil tier. So this was one that I changed today after we had our quick conversation before going live, and I was like, I wasn't very satisfied with my answers, and I sat on my couch and I looked over and I was like, what would be a terrible weapon? And I looked over and I saw this. I said this as I was going to pull something, and she was like, I saw this. I'm not. But I saw this item, and this item was a sweepy broom.
Is that? I guess you could call it a weapon. I guess anything's a weapon if you say it's a weapon.
Yeah, but it's like, even if it was like I took the broom handle off and used it as a rod, those things are hollow, and I've broken many of just brooms, just putting a little bit too much pressure on it. That are like the one that I have that is like, it's like aluminum, but it's a hollow tube, and it's like I just put slightly too much pressure on it by accident, and it bent. And it's like, well, now it's done. I had to go buy a new broom, and it's like, okay, if I take this broom and hit like a zombie right in the head with this, okay, I might get at most 3 swings, and then it's like, well, now I have a broken broom and I can't even sweep good.
Oh
So,
no, in the zombie apocalypse, I can't clean.
I know. Like, how am I going to get my deposit back?
No, but I guess yeah. So they do have in media where people are like, what's the closest thing to me? I'll use that as the weapon to protect me. Broom handle would stick. I think the only broom handle you might get away with is if it's like a wooden broom.
Yeah, which fills in that wooden rod.
Yeah, the dowel kind of idea. Yeah, because those, plastic ones are hollow too. All of it.
Yeah, like, so I guess if I was going to clarify, not just a broom thing, but like any like household tool that looks like that is like a rod, but it's hollow on the inside. Like, I feel like it will be way more effective against living people because you hit them with that, it's like, ow, that hurt. But like zombies, like, okay, brain. Just gonna...
Yeah, you might like stun it for a second, but then afterwards you'd just be like, okay, I keep going.
Yeah. So...
At best, the best you could probably do is just like keep it at, more than arm's length from you. You wouldn't be able to use it as anything to hit the zombie with, but you would just keep it far away.
Yeah, and it's definitely like the Dark Souls weapon, where like I can't think of any weapon, but like they have durability. It'd be like, or even Monster Hunter, like they have durability on their weapons, and it's just like, okay, 3 hits, gotta bring out the whetstone and sharpen it up again. My hollow tube of a sweeping utensil.
Imagine if you could repair that. You have the world's like tiniest, longest hammer to buff out the dents.
Yeah, just like... So, oh, that one's driving. Yeah, it's now. I would say, like, if I think this weapon could be modified to be useful, like where you make the end pointed, and it becomes more of that spear, but still the biggest issue of it being a hollow thing, to where and I don't know, this might be a me thing where I've messed around swinging hollow tubes and like I accidentally swung too hard and the whole thing bent. So maybe it's just a me thing, but still it's like, yeah, I think there's better options.
No, yeah, there's definitely better household options. Like, I'm thinking if I went into my kitchen right now where my broom is, I have forks, I have knives, I have much better options for dealing with a zombie. Fork might be hard unless I can aim directly for the weak spots.
Yeah.
But
like here's another example. For some reason, I came home from work and there was 2 like giant bees in my apartment. And I found out where the hole was and I taped it up. But still, like, and it was, I remember it's like one of those bees that look really scary, but they're not like actually deadly or anything. They just look really scary, but it's like you're in my bedroom.
Oh, like wood bees or whatever, where they're just like real big boys.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't a wood bee. It looked like a hornet, but it's not it's not a hornet or a yellow jacket. It was, I don't know what kind of, but it looks bee-esque and it's huge and it's like, why are you in my place? Like,
That's
I think
fair.
I think they go after like, I don't know, like other really annoying insects. But still, I'm like, how am I gonna get you out? And so like finally I got the broom and I smushed the broom like up into the wall, and I just was like, and I just like wiggled the broom around a little bit, and I brought the broom away, and the stupid thing was still alive. And I was like, you are the most useless killing device ever. And so what I ended up doing is putting the broom, like, I think I just gave it a concussion, so I just scooped it into like a jar, put some cardboard over, and I went over to my window, like my sliding door, and then there was like another one there. And I'm like, what the dump?
Waiting to enter the home.
Yeah, so like the way I got it open was like I slid the screen door open, and then I closed the glass door, and then I just waited for it to leave, and I'm like, it's not leaving. What am I gonna do? I'm sweating. And so like I just opened up the one door just wide enough and just was like, be free. And like the bug flew away, the one that I hit with the broom. I was like, and then I closed the glass door so I could fix the hole, and I looked at the broom like, you're useless.
Sounds like you're just bitter against this broom, and you're taking it out and saying like, you know where else you'd be useless? The zombie apocalypse.
This other very specific murder event. I'm waiting for it to like get stuck somewhere and then trips me because I didn't see it, and he's like, it was useless now.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you're waiting for like Fantasia where the broom comes to life.
That would also be cool. So
okay,
yeah.
I guess I can see your logic, because you know, if you woke up and it was suddenly there's a zombie in your house, you try to reach out for something, a broom would not be the answer. Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so
now I will say my top tier one is not practical at all. Like I don't even own one of these, so but it's the first thing that came to my mind as the worst weapon possible. But anyway,
I don't own either of the ones that are my worst list. My runner-up for me personally, I've always like disliked seeing this when they do this in the zombie apocalypse stuff, but I find like guns long term are not the best idea to want during the zombie apocalypse. Because for me, I've never used one, so if someone handed me a gun and was like, all right, we're dealing with zombies today, here's a gun. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to make sure it works. I don't know how to like aim with it. And I'd be double nervous because eventually you'd run out of bullets depending on how long you live during the apocalypse. Because like, it's not like what we were saying for our best ones where we're just relying on ourselves for the weapon, but instead, you know, without ammo, what else do you do with the gun?
You attach it to a stick and make a morning star.
I don't know where you get such pointy guns.
No, it's just a whole bunch of them.
Oh, flail.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, flail.
But then, yeah, and with it, even with a silencer, from what I understand, they're still pretty loud. There's no good way to make a gunshot quiet enough that you wouldn't attract any other like people or zombies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've handled guns and shotguns before, but it's like I think a shotgun I would feel okay with a shotgun like very early on, like for defense or like kind of clearing out an area, but it's like a handgun or something that requires more precision would be difficult. But yeah, no, that's something else I was thinking of, where it's just like, okay, if I do get lucky and I live long enough, I don't know how to make ammo. So
yeah, the other thing I was thinking is, like, I guess, yeah, a shotgun you could use without much issue as far as, like, aiming to make sure, you know, you actually hit it and you don't waste bullets. But then the other consideration that I consider, I was like, if I was under pressure, would I still be good with a gun? Whereas, like, a machete or a bat, or even, like, your dowel, if I was under pressure and just panicking, if I kept swinging, I'd hit something. I might hit other people in my party,
yeah,
but I would hit something. But with, like, a gun, I don't know, it feels like, unless you're really trained with it, under like, you know, stressful situations, it's a lot easier to miss than it is to hit something. Like if you have like 5 zombies in front of you, you're like, which one's the one that I shoot? Whereas the bat, I would just swing and go, oh, maybe I hit 2 at once.
Yeah. Like at least a bow and arrow, at least you, like, as long as nature keeps growing, you would still be able to make arrows.
Yeah, so as long as it's not like a nuclear winter and there's still trees, that's true. But I still feel like I still don't have the skill set. And I don't know if I know anyone that can teach me a bow and arrow in time to be useful.
Yeah, well, like, I guess just looking at the situation you were saying where, like, if we ran out of ammo, that means like you have lasted for a while, or possibly have an area set up. So there is the option, or the case to say you could possibly have a place to learn how to train, either if it's like a bow and arrow or something. Like, I don't know, I guess gun, like if you had a gun, that'd be like kind of last resort. But yeah, I'm just thinking of bow and arrow now.
Yeah, a bow and arrow I don't think is a bad option either, because it's just you would hopefully have more than one skill. If you only knew bow and arrow and you only had that, then if they get close to you, then you're like,
You ain't Legolas.
yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I could see that. Like, I don't know. It's definitely one of those things where I don't know if ammo, like conserving ammo, would you would need some sort of video game-esque logic, or somebody with huge prepping skills or knowledge to keep making, like, I guess, ammo. But early on, I guess it would work if you knew how to use it.
Yeah, if you knew how to use it. And I think the other thing that may put it pretty low on my list out of like typical weapons you see is that just the general loudness of it. Because, you know, like we said, for our general zombie definition, they're attracted to noise. So it just seems like a big detriment to have a weapon that's actively like, I'm here. Every time you kill a zombie, I'm here. Now I'm over here. Oh, can you hear me over here now?
It's very much like when you look at a child and you're like, peekaboo. It's like that, but just shotgun.
Mm-hmm. And then chat made a good point where resources to make ammo. So even if you knew how to make ammo, you might not have everything you need to make it. Because I think it's, at minimum, gunpowder, right?
Yeah. In the South, you get a whole bunch of black powder, which I remember my friend made a pipe bomb with and had the cops called on him.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was when we were in college. Fortunately, he was hiding deep in the woods, and like a cop came up and was like, "We had like a report of like a bomb or something going off," and they're like, or like just this really loud noise, and they're like, and the mom's like, "Nope, I don't know what you're talking about." She's like, "Okay, well, I guess if you hear anything, just let us know." And then like right after that, like my roommate and like walked out of the woods with like all like this family's pretty close with the college I went to, and like all like their daughters and all that stuff. And she's like, "Yeah, you're no longer allowed to do that. The cops just showed up." And he's like from North Carolina. He's like, "I'm so sorry, ma'am." Just like Southern drawl. Just like, I'm never gonna do it again.
Gotcha. But yeah, I think those are my biggest detriments to it.
Yeah. And now we're getting more information on how to make more ammo. That's too much work. I'll stick with my wooden rod. Okay. So my worst option here, which this immediately came to mind, and this item I think you need a lot of skill to use. And also it's not really, I don't know, I know a handful of people that probably could own this item, but yeah, it's just one of these things that, like, in practicality, I don't really think working out too well. And I wrote nunchucks. It's, and the funny thing is, I was reading an article, and they're like, nunchucks are a great weapon. You know, you just have to watch out because the chain that holds the nunchucks, like the two chucks, I guess, whatever they're called, could rust and break. And I'm like, then you don't have nunchucks anymore. Like, then that defeats the purpose of said nunchucks. And then it's like, I don't know, it's just like, yeah, it could crack the skull and everything, and it's just like, yeah, maybe against a human, but like you don't want to just crack the skull. Like, you either want to knock them off balance or knock everything, crack everything under there. So it was just like one of those things. I was sitting there, I'm like, No.
Yeah, that does feel way too specific. And yeah, I don't know. That would never come to mind to me as a good weapon. It's just, unless the person who wrote the article actually knows how to use them, that's the only reason why I think you would put that on a list. Like,
Yeah, like it was like the first thing I thought, like, this would be a terrible weapon. Like, I know it's used in Soul Calibur, and like the guy, like, just thinking about how he uses it, I don't even think you can use in real life because he, like, Maxie, like, throws the nunchucks and starts swinging them with his foot. Like, yeah, it's like I don't know, like, but like when you, I feel like in the hands of like a Bruce Lee, oh no, he dead. He come back, nunchuck zombie. Oh
oh
no.
no, what have you created? No, but yeah, like you said, like cracking a skull isn't enough. And I don't know, like, I used to watch some of like the Ultimate Warrior stuff with Strider, so like I know, I think they do the whole thing with like forces to see how much force can be behind it. And I mean, I could be wrong, but I can't imagine that a nunchuck would have enough, as much force as some of the other weapons we listed.
Mm-hmm.
Unless like you are just really good with it, it's hard for me to
Yeah,
imagine it
unless you're
smashing.
trained.
Yeah, it would be hard for me to imagine being able to get enough force to smash brains. Whereas like a wooden dowel, just swing down hard.
Yeah, but like not only is there a lot of technical skill that is needed for that, the biggest issue, or one of the biggest issues I had with this, was you need to get really close to use a nunchuck.
How long are they each?
I didn't look that up. I'll look it up now, but it's like in all the pictures I saw.
Yeah, they're not
like,
very long.
Yeah. Dimensions. Nunchuck dimensions.
Speaking of being really close to zombies in combat, if you're forced to use those, I'm curious, do you think a boxer or MMA fighter would do well in a zombie apocalypse?
Hmm. I Well, like, you can't really do submission holds.
No, but MMA fighters usually have a
Yeah.
lot of kickboxing background,
Yeah.
and
I guess if you gave them like a protective suit, so that way like it rips more into the suit than their skin.
because they definitely have enough. They would have enough force to break bones and brains.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, like, but I think that would be more like, rather than a horde situation, it would be more used for whatever it's called. Brain died.
Like 1v1?
One-on-one.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, so according to this random article I found, this and the one picture they show, everything's in centimeters. So if Knight's still in chat, he might be able to do the math for us. It says that normally the rods are 32 centimeters, and like long, and then the branches are about 2 to 2.5 centimeters thick, and then the chain could be anywhere, let's see, from 1 to 2 centimeters. It's variable. It could, okay, usually it's 1 to 2 centimeters, or for an adult it can be up to 12 centimeters.
Okay, so what was the length again? Because I looked up a calculator. A centimeter is roughly like, it's a little bit less than half an inch.
Yeah, so 32 centimeters.
So then that would put it at like 12.5 inches. So a little bit over a foot.
Okay, so that's
one of them.
foot. Okay, so at most, yeah, that's one of them, and then the chain could be 12 from 1 to 2 centimeters to 12 centimeters. So let's just say maximum chainage.
That's
so 12 centimeters.
Yeah, that's about like 4.7 inches. So yeah, so because you have to hold one of the chucks, I feel like that's not the right way to call them, but holding one of the chucks, the longest
they called them branches.
Branches. So. But yeah, the longest you could get is maybe like 16 inches away from you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really close to you.
Like, yeah, I'm like, I don't want to be that close. So, yeah, that's kind of my answer. Is like, I think nunchuck would be the most impractical weapon, no matter how much damage they can do to a human.
Okay, so then for my worst in the zombie apocalypse, I put down a chainsaw.
I didn't even think of that, but yes, I already have issues with it right now. So go ahead.
Yeah, this was the one that Strider, I asked him about this topic, and he immediately said, I hate when people use chainsaws in movies. If you thought a gun was loud, chainsaw, also extremely loud. They're also pretty heavy, right? I've never held one, but I've seen the way people hold them, and it's like you lean it against your hip. You don't use your, like, pure arm strength.
It depends on the size. There's smaller ones, but it's like when people lean against their hips, sometimes it's more for safety.
Okay.
Because I don't know how much chainsawage you have. Use you have.
None that many.
Yeah, so like chainsaws. Ooh, I almost dropped the die. The way they're built is to pull things in, like it's a chain, and so that's like it's just kind of, that's how it kind of cuts through trees like that. But it's like, it is like an effective weapon, but it's also one of those things where it's like you do have to be careful. Yeah, like as Chat was saying, like safety and stability against the hip. Like just thinking, like, I don't know, I know people that got their, yeah, I was thinking of the same thing, Evil Dead. But yeah, but like I know people who, because I used to live in upstate New York where it's all woods up there, and a lot of people are like lumberjacks, and like they like slipped or something, and the chainsaw hit their hand and would like amputate fingers off right there. Like it isn't, as a weapon it is effective, but very unsafe.
Yeah, it's extremely unsafe. And then along with that, it's also limited in its resources, because is it regular gasoline, or do they have a special fuel that they use, like a special mix?
I think it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Like, so 50 gas, 50 something else.
Yeah, but I feel like gasoline in the times of like a, you know, in most apocalypse settings, gasoline has like better uses elsewhere than a chainsaw. Whether or not you use it if you can use it for a car or for other means of transportation, or if you just need to have a fire or things like that. So I feel like, I don't know, as a normal bystander, or a generator is another good example for using gasoline, but as a normal bystander, if someone was like, you want the chainsaw, I'd be like, no, give me literally anything else.
Yeah, well, now there also is electric chainsaws.
Okay. But electricity is also something I don't want to rely on in the apocalypse.
Unless you get like one of these like solar panels that are able to charge things.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I'm not trying to poke holes, because I agree with you. I would not want this weapon. I'm just trying to think of like the random person that just hears this section was just like, well, actually, it's like, you were well actually somewhere else, sir.
Yeah, I mean, you know, with this podcast, if people disagree with me, I assume everyone disagrees with me. It's like when I talk about what cereals I like. I do not know anybody else's favorite cereal is Raisin Bran.
I'd eat it.
Exactly, you'd eat it, but is it your favorite? Whereas it's one of my favorites. But yeah, so overall, the whole chainsaw concept, and I think I would also run into the issue, and we keep referencing this, but if I needed to pull the chainsaw out to deal with something else, it's either you start and finish the cut, or you're just waiting there. Because you don't really have the maneuverability to be like, oh, there's a zombie behind me now? Hold on, zombie. Can you wait? I'm still chopping through the one in front of me.
Okay, apparently chat loves Raisin Brand. So there's like, I've seen a few people just say Raisin Brand's my favorite. I don't know if they're just siding with you or if they actually like it.
I'll take what I can get.
Yeah.
I've had many people in my life tell me raisins are disgusting and should not be a food, and I'm just like, give me my box of raisins and I'll sit in the corner happily.
Here's the other thing about the chainsaw, which okay, have you ever started a lawnmower?
Yes.
Okay, that's how you start a chainsaw.
Oh, so there's zombies out. Okay.
It's like, you know how hard it is to get a lawnmower to start sometimes? Like, now add the stress of a zombie coming out. You're like, hold up. No. Oh, I didn't push that thing 3 times.
Yeah, because like you said, with chainsaws are very dangerous, so they have the routine safety protocols to make sure if you're starting it, you mean to be starting it.
Yeah. It's like, oh man. Like, and also going off the noise, like okay, so this is why I think the noise would be worse with a chainsaw, because it's true. Okay, yeah, you got the one kapow from gun, and it's like, oh, that was loud, but it was one.
The chainsaw
it
constantly. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, it is the sugar high toddler of the noisy weapon category, where it doesn't stop until it's out of energy.
Yeah. And and for the ones that run off of gas, they also give off a real stink, don't they?
Yeah. That gassy smell.
Yeah. So if there are people around, assuming that the zombies don't care about the gas smell, but if there are people around and you don't want to get caught, they hear this chainsaw, they smell the chainsaw, they're probably like, oh, they have gasoline and a chainsaw, we must go.
And then they show up and it's just, oh, it's just chainsaw. So yeah, I would agree. I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah. It's just big, clunky, unsafe for the user if you make any small mistakes, unsafe for anyone in your party if they happen to get a little bit too close.
Well, I've been told it is a little bit unsafe to get close to DPayne with a weapon anyway.
Regardless of chainsaw.
Regardless of anything.
That's why you get the shield, right?
Yeah. The shield isn't to protect me, it's to protect you from me.
But yeah, so I think that wraps up the bigger part of the podcast before we wrap up and move on to the quiz. So to summarize, my top 2 were the machete and wood and bat, and my worst 2 were gun and chainsaw.
And my top 2, as I open up my list again, and because I can't remember my own things, was a shield and a metal wooden rod, and my bad was a broom and a nunchuck. So.
I see now why you put the impractical weapon quiz.
Oh, is there an impractical one?
Yeah, you put.
Oh, yes, okay.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Now we move on to the way we close out the podcast is with quizzes. And we thought this was going to be a shorter one, but I think we might only have time for one quiz.
I don't know when we actually started.
I want to say that I started the intro over an hour ago. A little bit over an hour.
We need to start paying attention to when we start.
I thought you had timers going.
Yeah, well, I stopped that after when I said, hey, I should have timers going.
But.
So, I don't know. We'll see how fast it goes. I don't know. Maybe 2. Maybe 2? Come on.
I don't think we even have 2 good quizzes for this is the other problem.
We have 4 mediocre quizzes.
No, I think your which weapon will you use in the zombie apocalypse fits well.
Well, yeah.
The other
we'll do
ones
this one-
were a bit of
okay.
I was gonna say the other quizzes were a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. I don't know. We can see, and the timer kept going over 2 hours. That timer's still going from 10 podcasts ago. So yeah, I guess we can do this one, and then if it doesn't take too long to go, because like these are pretty simple answers, maybe we can just do one more. We'll see.
You just like doing quizzes.
Yeah, I do.
All right, so you went first for. Or
Yeah,
no.
I went first for answering.
So then, did we translate that to first for quiz too? Because I was last to talk.
Yes.
Okay, so you can start it off
think.
when you're ready.
Okay. So this question, oh wait, we didn't even put the quiz in the chat. Oh my god.
I'll do it. I got it.
Oh, there we go. Watch us both. Okay, so this quiz is which weapon will you use in the zombie apocalypse? And the first question is, are you a good shot? And the options are, who needs firearms when you got 2 big guns right here? Kisses biceps. I could pick off a flea from a mile away. I think I get hit no matter where I aim. Who needs accuracy when you have 1 million rounds? Wow, I can't even read. On a good day, point and shoot. That's all that matters.
Where's the no, I've never shot a gun, so I have no idea option.
Probably the who needs accuracy when you got 1,000 rounds.
But that was my problem with the guns. You don't have 1 million rounds.
Yep.
I guess on a good day.
Or maybe it would be who needs firearms when you got these 2 big guns. When I'm looking through this, I'm like, I think this is gonna be very gun centric.
Yeah.
Because like seeing the person who made it is Tactical Deletion, who is, well, their profile picture is a lot of guns.
And the picture for the quiz is a lot of guns.
Yeah, it's almost the same picture. There's one. These guns have extensions. Oh, they have silencers on them.
Extensions.
It's suppressors.
They downloaded extensions for their guns.
Yep. They mods. Let's see. Shoot. Yeah, I think I would go with who needs firearms when you got 2 big guns right here, baby.
All right, question number 2. Quick, zombies are in your house. Which one do you grab?
A broom.
Option 1, the biggest gun. Option 2, the sharp thingy. Option 3, the coolest gun. Option 4, the fastest gun. Option 5, the detonator. Option 6, the reliable classic gun. They're assuming I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different guns ready and available in my home.
No, there's a bigger problem. The detonator. That means you set up your house to explode.
Well, it might not be the house per se. It could be the front yard. Oh, no, it's in your house.
In your house, what do you grab? Okay, guy. Oh my goodness. You need to meet Kat.
No, that would be a recipe for disaster. Will you marry me? Get the detonator.
Get the detonator. Is that a yes?
Did you like my quiz? I guess I'm going for the sharp thingy.
I kind of want to choose the coolest gun, because what if I get a laser gun? I'm going to choose the coolest gun. I don't have any guns. Hey, who was your grandpa? What's in your blood? Cells. An army veteran, a demolition expert, a member of a motorcycle gang, a Russian spy, an inventor, a champion prize fighter, a family member / I don't know.
My grandfather was a doctor. Why is that not important enough?
Yeah, my grandfather helped build the Panama Canal.
So he's an inventor. Oh, he could be a demolitions expert.
Yeah, except he wasn't. He was also a farmer.
A family member, question mark? That's my answer.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Like, guy.
All right, next question. How do you plan on escaping the zombie-infested city? Option 1, I'll take a cab. Option 2, I could hijack a truck. Option 3, I'll ride my Harley. Option 3, leave? Me? I've got all I need right here. Option 4, I think I'll take the old Shoelace Express. Parentheses, walk, and parentheses. Or the last option, I cannot do this accent, but it's get
to the chopper.
That is the last option.
Okay, whenever we go to a con, that's what I'm gonna say. Hopefully I remember. It's just like, so Hop, you ready to take the old Shoelace Express over to the Pathfinder booth?
I have never heard that phrase before.
Me neither. It must be a Midwest thing because that's where this guy's from.
But also, like, the also strong assumption about motorcycles too.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna. Well, like, I guess the question is, it's like is the grass greener on the other side? Because is it the newer version of Night of the Living Dead? They think they can go to an island, and the island has more zombies than the mall did, or whatever. So, like, does leaving the zombie-infested city do you better? But I don't think I have everything I need right now if this city was infested by zombies.
Yeah.
No, I'll say I'll stay right here. You know how they say the captain goes down with a sinking ship? If a zombie hurts my bunnies, I gotta take my revenge.
Now I'm just imagining zombie bunnies, and it's just like, we just hear like, Strider, I don't know what I did. There's a mistake. I don't know how to hijack a truck, and I don't have a Harley. I guess I'm just gonna translate ride my Harley as my lima bean of a car, and so I'll take that as take my car out of here.
Just say you named your car Harley, and then it all works out.
Harley, last name Quinn. What?
Alright.
Oh, yeah, this is my turn. Could you disassemble a gun and then put it back together? Heck yeah, I'm a little bit of a gearhead. I think I know what's going on in this gun. I might be able to fix it. Maybe if someone helped me. I'd rather not take the chance of breaking anything. I don't hassle with all those useless parts.
I would not want to take a chance of breaking anything.
Same.
As soon as you said that question out loud, I was like, where's the no option? Where's the no option? All right, next. What's your zombie killing tactic? Send chunks flying, a fast line of bullets, a controlled line of bullets, spray and pray, hit them before they even knew you were there, or point and shoot, baby. Every one of these options is shooting them. I guess you can argue that hit them before they even see you or even knew you were there could be a bow and arrow, but let's be honest, based on the theme of this quiz, it's not a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Send chunks flying with my wooden bat.
Spray and pray. That's how I play FPSs.
You'll hit something.
Yeah, my own teammate. Oh goodness, how much ammo did you bring? Enough. One bullet for each of them. I don't know, my BFF Jill. Is that a Resident Evil joke?
No, it's a cell phone commercial joke.
No, I don't watch TV, so. Ammo? Oh crap, I knew I forgot something. Well, does a crowbar count as ammo? Enough to last me a year, but in parentheses, but I'll have spent it by tomorrow.
Does a crowbar count as ammo?
Crowbar, because I want a gun.
Also, the idea that this person has enough ammo that they know it could last a year, but, you know, I'll just shoot it all by tomorrow. How many zombies, or how many bullets per zombie is in this equation?
Enough to win.
All right. Which color is most appealing to you? Red, white/black, blue, olive drab, yellow orange, neon green, or none of the above/other. Olive drab is the most specific color in this list.
Is that okay? Hold on, I'm doing a quick
I think
search.
it's like that, like khaki green.
Camouflage? Yeah, it's camouflage. It's camo color. And like images for olive drab are, well, It's like army fatigues, and then like women that look very depressed to be wearing this color.
Blue is the most appealing to me.
Yeah, I got to the blue and was like, yep. Okay, your base is being invaded by the living dead. You're glad. You're glad that you are prepared to wait them out and pick them off, spray some lead, charge them head on, and get the element of surprise. Is sacrifice spelled right?
No.
Sacrifice yourself for the greater good. Waste all of your ammo today. Engage the enemy in close quarters combat. Take them out as they shamble inside.
I guess out of these, I'd pick the last one. Just take them out as they kind of like wander in.
Yeah, that seems like the most tactically sound out of all of these.
Also, for the last question, will it be okay if I don't read all of these answers because I find one offensive?
Yeah, oh, wait, random. What? Yes, like, for sure.
Okay. Can I just not read this one? Because I just don't like this question. All right, this last question, for anyone that's listening through the audio, we don't really screen these before we do these. And the question just says, answer as quickly as possible, random. And like we said, the person seems very into their guns. And I think they are also opinionated on
certain things happening in the world.
Yes. So I'm not comfortable reading these options. And I don't even know out of these what I would pick.
Number one.
Yeah, I guess technically, if you want to answer the question as quickly as possible, the correct answer is the first answer, right? Because you don't read the rest of them.
Or is the second from the bottom one a fart noise?
I think it's supposed to be like a machine gun noise, but it does kind of look like a fart noise.
I want to choose the fart noise one.
I guess I'll pick the bruise your face, because like everything I picked was melee weapons.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, let's see.
Oh, okay. So I guess I can tell you what my answer is. I said that I picked all my answers to be melee weapons, and it told me I should have melee weapons. Except they include chainsaws. Anyway. Sticks, blades, crowbars, chainsaws, and axes are the most common types of very close-range weapons, but maybe it's fun to bludgeon and crush an undead skull. You have some nerve getting close enough to a zombie to smack it with a sword or even your fist. Getting this result shows you have balls, but you may lack the logical thinking skills that will help you survive long-term. I'm sorry. They just attacked me for saying that I don't want to use 6 different guns. Did you get the same answer, or did you get something different?
No, I got something else. I don't know what it is. It looks like a shotgun, but it's a Spaz 12?
Oh, so he went into such detail. He just told me all melee weapons is what you use, but you not only got a gun, but a certain model of gun.
Yeah. Yeah, so it says a favorite among badasses everywhere. This shotgun is a staple of collection zombie slaying weapons and good. Oh, it is a shotgun. And for good reason. This gun will blast the undead chunks of flesh at the pull of the trigger. Getting this result shows traits of both ferocity and brutality. Keep this in your tool belt. If I'm going to keep this in my tool belt, sir, how am I going to use it? Someone got explosives. And if it, okay, you know what? We need to take another quiz just to cleanse the palate.
All right, do you want to do the BuzzFeed one? Could you survive the zombie apocalypse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that one should be like, there no opinions, just...
We get in there, we get the same answers. Gun and chainsaw. What?
No, but thank you for not forcing me to read that last one.
It's all good.
Okay, so...
Okay, for the quiz we just took, I'm the one that found it, and the way I look at it is like, okay, this looks decent. I look at the first question and then I see how many questions there are. I don't read every question because I don't want to form my answers beforehand.
No, and I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, I'm saying for the people listening, like who don't know how some of the quizzes are chosen.
Gotcha.
So that's how I choose some of the quizzes. So
yeah. I do like even less screening. I just scroll through it real quick and see if the comments seem to like hint at it being a good or bad quiz.
Mm-hmm.
The comments for this one that I found, which is the BuzzFeed one, were very much like, how did they phrase it? They're like, I got this answer, but I don't think this is how it would end up for me. I'm like, okay.
For that last quiz, what did I do? Let us know what people got the answer for in chat. I want to see what you guys got while we take this one.
Yes, and then for anyone listening audibly, we should have the link available for people.
They'll be in the description.
Yeah. Someone got an M16.
M16. I'm posting the next quiz in there in the chat. Alright. Well, I guess we'll say them as we go through. So.
Okay, and you started the last quiz, right? So
Yep.
I can start this one. The alarms are sounding. What do you grab? Some food, water, a burner phone, and a knife. Or a suitcase full of clothes, entertainment, food, and weapons. Or camping equipment, games, clothes, and a Swiss Army knife. Or a first aid kit, a burner phone, a few granola bars, and a water purifier.
This third option, I just imagine you like, but what games?
Too many board games.
I can't leave them.
I think I would do the fourth option.
Yeah, the water purifier seems like a strong thing. The suitcase, like the second one, is probably something I would want to bring, but the fact that it's in a suitcase is what's killing me on that answer.
Do you not own a suitcase, or?
Well, I do, but I don't want to carry a suitcase
in the apocalypse.
Yeah, no, the water purifier, even though I don't own a water purifier, is the one that's like in this made-up universe. I have one.
Yeah, I would want one for sure.
Hey, there's a knock on the door. Quick, grab a weapon to defend yourself. A steak knife, pepper spray, a large skillet, a baseball bat.
Baseball bat.
What the heck is pepper spray gonna do? And also, I'm just
they didn't say if it's a zombie. They just said someone knocked on the door.
Yeah, but I'm also imagining like my pepper shaker, where it's just like the pepper grinder.
Keep your eyes open. Hold on, I'm still going.
Okay, hold on. Okay, the alarms are sounding, so.
And then you get a knock on your door.
Yeah, come and knock on my door, please go away. Skillet. It worked in Rapunzel. or Tangled.
Okay.
What's your question?
It's time to figure out where you'll be hiding out. Where's your first location? Are you kidding me? I'm not going anywhere. Or my friend's house? Or an office building or school? Or a supermarket? Like, I feel like a school could be defensible and has a cafeteria, but a supermarket is just a giant cafeteria.
But they don't really have. Well, I guess there are ways to cook.
It depends on your supermarket. Like, some of the ones local to me, like, they offer hot meals, so there's some way of cooking in the back.
Yeah.
Like, they have the pre-made meals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, as I was saying that, I was thinking the same thing. Because here's the problem that I'm thinking, like, with a supermarket. There's going to be a lot of people going to a supermarket, I feel like.
Trying to get, like, last-minute supplies and food.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I think office building or school for myself. Because they are, like, they're structured with the hallways and stuff that you could easily force, you know, like, you could block things off.
Yeah.
And force direct, if anyone gets in the building, they can't always get to you.
Yeah, and this is first location, so not where we're ending up.
But it's the first place you would try.
Yeah, so I think I would probably go to a friend's house.
Okay.
Uh-oh. We're running low on food, you chunks. What's next? What's your next move? Go back to my house and find some unspoiled food. Rob a grocery store before supplies run out. Split supplies and trade with others. Rob some houses. I don't know why they're saying. Well, I guess technically, yeah, we are robbing houses, but I'm just thinking of my neighborhood, and I'm like, part of me is wondering, would people even leave? Like, we're looking at this in the lens of a COVID world. We've trained to stay in the house.
See, look, like, I don't know how easy you could trade with others for food.
Yeah, that one's gone.
Grocery store is likely the first place ransacked. And I would only be able to be willing to rob houses if it's like that Walking Dead world where there's a bunch of houses that are emptied out because people have turned into zombies. I don't want to have to, like, hold a family and be like, give me your food while they're in their own house. Like,
Yeah. My buns need to eat.
I guess the good person in me would go to my own house first if I left it in the first place to find if there's anything not spoiled left anymore.
That is a good option, except literally today I was looking through and I was like, I didn't buy anything for dinner. So...
Let alone, would you have food prepped for the apocalypse?
Yeah. I have food prepped for the week. So, looking at the context of my first question, where I'm saying that I'm at a friend's house, I would be able to see if there's signs of life in the houses around.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would hit houses before a grocery store.
Okay.
Okay. Oh wait, who read the last one?
I think you read.
did.
Yeah.
First
So
source.
you encounter a few zombies on your way back. What do? Run, fight, sacrifice someone else, or create a distraction and run?
Sacrifice someone else.
Well, it depends. If it's like 2 zombies, I would fight them. If it was 15 zombies, I would make a distraction and run. Well, it says a few.
I thought you were trying to justify what I just said.
No.
It depends. How loud are you?
What's the you don't have to outrun a bear, you just have to be the
outrun you.
If it's a few zombies, I would fight them.
Yeah. It just depends. It's just okay, so is it just me? So this is where, like, the context of the question, I'm wondering, like, if it's a group, like a few of us, yeah, but with this it's saying you as singular, I'll do create a distraction and run.
Okay.
Okay. You discover that your shelter has been taken over by zombies. Where to next? A gym, an old hospital, a department store, a hotel.
I would not go to the gym.
I would not go to the hospital.
Where the zombies probably started.
Yeah.
I probably would go to a hotel.
Hotel is also good. Like, department store is something else I'm also thinking of as well. The hotel, you could at least, like, if it has an elevator in there, you could prop open the door so the only way people can get up is the elevator until power went out. But there is defensible positions. A department store. Okay, hold on. I gotta look up real quick to make sure I'm figuring out. Okay, sorry, people were typing.
What are you looking up for a department store?
I just want to know if I'm picturing the right thing.
Yeah, like Macy's or JCPenney, like those kinds of things.
Okay, no, the Wikipedia makes it look like the Mall of America.
I don't know any that are that big, but when I think department store, I think they call them anchor stores in the mall. The really big ones that are like Boscov's, Nordstrom, all those kinds of things.
Yeah, it says a department store is a retail establishment offering a wide range of consumer goods in different areas of the store. Each area of the department it's a mall. This is what Wikipedia says. A department store is a mall.
No, it's not it's not a mall. It's like, you have one store that has a perfume section, a shoe section, a menswear, a women's wear, houseware, all in one.
A mall.
Business.
I would still go hotel.
Okay.
I think that's like the kill shot though. Like an old hospital, I think is a definite kill shot.
that's a ripperoni.
That is insta death right there. A gym might also would be because it depends. If it's now, no one's gonna be at the gym. It's not January.
But also for me, when I was thinking of the gym, the only resource you have there are like you'll have showers, but a hotel, most hotels have a kitchen, and they at least have like refrigerators where they have snacks and drinks.
And microwaves.
For the snacks and drinks, you want a microwave?
Well, no, I got popcorn.
Oh yes, the zombie apocalypse. I just got 100 bags of popcorn. That's not food, but it's popcorn.
It's popcorn.
Your clothes are starting to get a little ripe. Where are you getting new ones? I'll take them off of dead bodies. I'll trade with a friend. I'll steal more. I'd rather smell bad than die. I'd rather smell bad than die.
Yeah. The steal more, okay, like the steal more one would work if I was in the department mall.
Store.
All right. You're really starting to miss your friends and family. Do you want to risk meeting up with them? Yes, I'm going to find them right now. I wish I could see them, but I have to be smart. Only if they come with me. No, I don't want to lead the zombies to them.
I picked the last one.
I would pick the last one because I already live alone.
Alright, you hear another alarm. Maybe it's safe again. What do you want to do? Go outside and scope out my surroundings, wait 24 hours before emerging, wait for someone to find me, or call friends and family to see what's up. I'd probably wait 24 hours before actually seeing what's going on. It sounds like we're alone, by the way.
Yeah.
So there's your context.
Yeah, it's just like... Like I'm torn between the first two. So yeah, I'd probably wait 24 hours. I would probably I wouldn't go out immediately, which it seems like that's kind of what the first
option is.
one's saying.
Yeah.
Do you think you could survive in the wild? Hell no. I'd survive, but barely. Hell yeah. I've got the skills and knowledge to survive.
I think I'd survive, but just barely.
I could be a bear. All right. Yeah, I chose the same one that you just said.
Okay.
So...
You can go first this time. I went first last time.
Okay. I got you survived.
I also got you survived.
Can you
Yay.
die?
Yay for all the lack of description as to why we would have survived the zombie apocalypse.
Yep.
Someone in chat just shared that they died, but your loved one survived. At least your loved one survived.
Okay, did you choose... Okay, did you choose the... Where's... There was, like, sacrifice. No, not sacrifice yourself.
It was, what?
Or, going out finding friends and family.
DPayne is trying to rig the quiz to find out what weighted the answers. But yeah, so yeah, this quiz should also be available for you to take.
Don't you try to rig the answers to see?
Only sometimes. Only if we all get the same answer. But yeah, so this one should be in the description if you're listening to this via audio. If you listen to this via audio and you want to let us know what you got as your answers, you can find us at twitter.com/pointlessdisco, and you can comment on the episode or send us a DM and let us know what your answers are so we can joke and talk about it. And then, yeah. Is there anything else to wrap up the zombie weapons episode?
No. Yeah, so the quizzes will be under, as you just said. Since Hop won, that means you get to roll the D10 to find out what the next topic is going to be. Unless you said that and, like, as I was clearing stuff out.
No, I didn't mention it yet.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so you can do that. And then this will be up shortly, pretty much as soon as the stream ends, for people to vote on, which we have last week's, which was either TFT/League Champions, and is it the one you just highlighted?
Yep, and versus alien movies.
Alien movies.
I already know what my top answer is, and nothing can change my mind.
Is it that Treasure Island one?
Are there even aliens in it? I haven't watched it.
There's a treasure space. Oh no, Treasure Planet.
Okay. Again, I have not watched it, so if there are aliens in it, I am unaware. So wait, are we gonna say that the main topic has to be aliens, or that there are aliens in the movie?
Will one of these answers mess up your top one?
It'll probably dictate my number 2, but it still won't mess with my number 1.
We can figure it out later. We'll see if it wins, and then we can, as we normally do, poke holes to make sure we get a decent thing.
That we all on the same page. Yes.
Yeah.
But yep. So for the vote for this coming week, it's League of Legends champions versus alien movies.
Yeah. And I guess speaking about League of Legends, if you guys want to catch more Hop and Payne co-streaming action on Tuesdays, we do TF Tuesdays where we play team fight tactics, and one of us wins.
And one of us gets salty. They're both the same person.
Yeah, so we do that. And also, by the way, if anybody would like, if after listening to any of the podcasts would have like, man, I wish they could talk more about X, or I really wish they took this quiz on this subject, send them either to me or Hop, or on the Pointless twitter.com/pointlessdisco, which is our Twitter page, where we will save those things. And August 1st, we will have our community cast, where, since you guys unlocked it for the charity stream. So yeah, that is it. Do you have anything else you want to say, or?
Just the usual. Thank you, everyone. For anyone that participated in the live chat, thank you so much for coming out. For anyone that would like to participate in the future and you've just been listening to in its audio form, we go live every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're both on Twitch now, so twitch.tv/apocalypse, twitch.tv/Itisdpayne. You can find us live there, so you can take the quizzes with us and, contribute some ideas and other points of view while we talk about our talking points. Other than that, we would love the idea of being able to have a live podcast format, like in a panel at a convention, but to help us reach that kind of point, and we would greatly appreciate it if you could either give us positive ratings and comments on the podcast. I believe you can do that if we ever get through to iTunes and on Google. And another way to help us reach out to more people is if you like the podcast, share it with others and your friends. And yeah,
tell your friends, tell your enemies. We'll take both. And just here's everyone's homework. Open up your friend's phone and just go to their podcast app of choice and just subscribe. Just subscribe to our podcast. So hopefully they'll be like, I don't remember this, and give it a listen.
That's one tactic.
Yes. I can't do it because I live alone, but I tell all my friends through the internet and my phone, hey, we have podcasts, and they say cool. But yeah, that is it. Hope you guys have a good rest of the day, and guess we'll see you later. Bye.